Welcome to the Lifestyle Show with me, Pam Joseph. We're here at the Tabernacle in the heart of Ladbroke Grove. Now, for the next hour or so, please put your remote controls away. You're going to be edutained by myself and my guests, don't you know? Now, you can interact on the show. You can send in your comments, whenever, whatever time of day it is, whatever time of the day it is, if you will. It's two ways. lifestyleonben@hotmail.co.uk or the Facebook page, and that is Lifestyle on Ben. On the Facebook page, Lifestyle on Ben. So you can put your comments there. We can read them out. The following show, we can read them out. So do get involved as well. Now, let me introduce a regular visitor onto the Lifestyle Show. He is a specialist, if you will, or specialises and likes to educate other people as well about prostate cancer health. He's got more issues than just prostate cancer. So let me introduce formally Vasco Stevenson to you. Hi, Vasco. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well indeed. I'm delighted to see you again.
It's not been that long, but I think it's been at least about 6 months or over.
6 months is long. A week is long in politics. 6 months is long in television.
And they say 24 hours is long in politics as well, don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
I introduced you as saying, you're a specialist or you specialise in prostate cancer health, but there's much more to this. So let's talk about things. Let's go on to the prostate that, initially when you came on the show, you spoke about that. Talk to us about that.
Well, prostate, as you know, is one of my babies, my favorite topic to talk about. And the reason for this is that a couple of my friends died from it back in the 1980s. And I'm meeting so many men of all ages these days who are suffering from some kind of prostate condition, whether it's an enlarged prostate or whether it's prostate cancer. And that means that we've got to continue putting the information out there in the community to help these men reduce their risk of getting prostate cancer. We can't stop them from getting, the enlarged prostate because that's a hormonal change that takes place. But reducing the risk of getting prostate cancer is what I would like to do. Let's put it that way.
We're looking at a lot of younger men as well being diagnosed with prostate cancer. I mean, some years ago, it seemingly was the older sort of gentleman, if you will, but it's getting younger and younger. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, what is happening is that the younger people have different lifestyles. They're eating differently. Yes, the diet is not conducive to good health, whether it be prostate or the heart or Alzheimer's or what have you, diabetes. And then on top of that, it's loaded with sugar. They're not eating a lot of herbs and spices that would counter any adverse changes that are taking place in the prostate gland. The food is bland, the lifestyle is not conducive to good health, as I said. So obviously, something's got to give. They'll either get serious prostate cancer, or they will listen to people like me, and there are quite a lot of us out there putting out the message, and at some time the penny has got to drop. And when that does, hopefully before they get cancer, they'll start taking remedial measures to improve their prostate health.
You say there's a lot of people like you trying to get the message out. I know you have a radio program and you still try and get that out as well. I mean, one of the things that we find is that even black males on a whole, not even just the young ones, but there's also been this thing about a bit of a taboo thing to go to the GP on a regular, and that's still going on. And I think the younger ones have a tendency to think they're, macho man, virile and everything else. So it's kind of hard to try to persuade them. You may be all right, you may be fit, but there's other things that could be going on that you don't know about.
Yes. One of my favorite doctors is a fellow called Jonathan Wright. I don't know if he's still alive, but he's written a fantastic book. And he goes against the current paradigm in that he says that the issue with prostate is not the fact that men have high testosterone and the tendency is to reduce that. He thinks that the problem is with the female hormone estrogen. That's his take on it. And there are others now who are coming around to that conclusion as well, albeit without definitive proof, but the evidence is beginning to point in that direction. In that from the time a man reaches the age of 30, his testosterone level starts to drop off by 10% for every 10 years. So by the time he gets to 40, he's 90%, 50, he's 80%. Right. And the question is this. If we're talking here about hormonal balances and imbalances, and if the testosterone is dropping, what is replacing it? It's got to be the female hormone estrogen. Yep. And Dr. Wright and quite a lot of others are saying that that could be the main driver behind prostate cancer. And he actually went on to say, case in point, if testosterone were the problem, all these young men out there who are literally testosterone on two legs would have prostate cancer. And that's a valid point.
That's rather serious, though, when you look at it like that.
Absolutely, yes. So what we are saying is, to young men who think they're okay, it's not going to happen to me, I'm too young, bear in mind that all these degenerative diseases are showing up in younger and younger people. So from the time a man gets to 30, start thinking, I've got to start, looking at myself, looking at what I'm eating. I mean, even before then, but when it comes to the prostate, I've got to start looking at my diet, my lifestyle, and my sexual habits as well. Yeah? And I've got to start, doing something positive and not sowing my wild oats and gallivanting all over the place. Take proper control of my body, because if you believe this, the body is supposed to be the temple. If we're bioelectrical and spiritual people, then this is the temple. And we've got to keep it in pristine condition. And part of that is eating the right foods and living the right lifestyle.
On your radio show recently, you spoke about another form of cancer that is starting, the figures are rising, and this is sort of a throat cancer. Going on to a sexual sort of dimension of this, when I'm talking about throat cancer, there's a kind of a link, not proven, but there could be a link with certain sexual habits that could end up giving a person throat cancer. Can we get some idea what you're talking about here?
Yes. There's a tendency today to engage in all kinds of sexual activities. I would call them deviant sexual activities. Okay. To some other people, they may be normal, but to me personally, they're deviant. Okay. And one of these, the two of these, would be anal and oral sex. And my take is that if people are engaging in anal sex, I don't think it's sex at all. I think it's buggery, really. But if they're engaging in anal sex and then oral sex, there's a very, very high chance that, despite the fact that they may wash properly and do all that, that some bacteria will get into their throat, and possibly the next big sexual explosion is likely to be some kind of cancer of the throat or something affecting the throat. And that's how I'm reading it. And I have on my radio program every other week, I have a very knowledgeable young lady who's a student in biosciences. I don't know if I should mention her name, but yes, her name is Rosie. And it was she who brought this to my attention off air. We were talking about it, and she was pointing out, she says, that's it. And when she mentioned it to me, I went away and did a little bit of research myself. And I said, Rosie has an idea here. She's onto something. And really, this is not where young people today should be going.
I'm just thinking that she studies
biosciences,
and she feels that there could be a link between throat cancer and certain sexual, okay. So what is she going to do about this, and how can you get this out then? Maybe if it hasn't been out in the public domain, but there could be a link, how are we going to substantiate this?
Well, the thing about it is that to draw it to the public's attention, we would have to come on programs like this, or maybe see if we can help initiate some kind of school program, yes, to get it into schools. But now we have an issue, and I think it's a big issue, where in primary schools they're teaching young children about oral and anal sex, which I think is a very, very backward step and shouldn't be happening, because I think primary school children especially need to keep their innocence until they reach, puberty or something like that. I don't think it's the right place. But then I'm saying this because I can see a potential conflict here between us going in to a school, if permitted, to talk about this, and then their program of what they call educating young primary school about sex. I think it's too early in primary schools to do something like that. So we'll have to see how it goes. But if they're guided by the government, then I don't know if we have a big chance of getting the message across.
This is a very interesting point. Let's see where it does go indeed. Yeah, exactly. So, but the main point is, and when we're dealing with prostate cancer, if we stick to that for a minute, the main point is that young men as well as, older men, doesn't matter really, get a checkup on a regular basis, eat healthily, exercise?
Yes, exercise is very important. In every aspect of health, exercise is important, yes? And I was asked a question recently by one of my listeners about exercise, and he wasn't talking about physical exercise. And I was, I made the point that all types of exercise is good for the body. So whether it's your exercising, that little ejaculatory gland that's sends your tadpoles into the world, sex is a good thing. And I made a presentation a couple of weeks ago in Tottenham entitled The Spirituality of Sex. And everyone before I made that presentation was saying, why have you chosen that topic? I said, why is a three-letter word bugging you? It's only three letters. But after the presentation, and I showed them that there's a spiritual aspect to it, the next question was, when are you going to make this presentation again? So they've woken up to something, yes, and sex is not something to be bandied about and engaged in promiscuously, that's the word, right? And all of this ties in with good sexual health, and of course it affects the prostate as well. Now, Nottingham University put out a report not very long ago that young men in their 30s who masturbated had a higher risk of prostate cancer by the time they got to 50, right? But men in their 50s who did it had a lower rate of prostate cancer. And this bears out the point I'm making, because when people send their sperm into the world, they're losing lots of vitamins and minerals, yes, that would normally be reabsorbed into the body if they didn't do that. Yes, and these minerals and vitamins not only benefit the prostate, but they benefit the brain as well. And when people are talking about sexual education and prostate and all of that, I think they should bring all these factors into play, all this information, so that they're not just giving the bare skeleton of the information, they're putting some meat on it as well, and encouraging people to go away and see, look at this, and even if you take away one idea and implement that, then we've achieved something. That's my opinion.
That's a good one. Before before the camera started rolling, we had an idea about, the black male and the white male. And there was something that you was, indicating in regards to maybe the black male lacks a certain trace mineral which the white male would have, and again, so let me just elaborate. Let's get to this going out a bit more now. Talk to me about that.
Right. Now, the idea is that black men are more susceptible to prostate cancer than white men, and when they get this cancer, when they get prostate cancer, it has a tendency to become more aggressive than in white men. Okay, and I do a lot of research in this area, and I've been reading from lots of reports and lots of doctors and other people who write articles in this area. And there are two things jumping out of this information at me. One is that white men have more selenium in their bodies than black men, okay? And selenium is very important for good prostate health. And it's a trace mineral that you can get from eating things like Brazil nuts or coriander. Okay, so you don't have to go and buy a supplement or anything like that. And the second one, of course, is estrogen. And if you eat certain foods, turmeric and coconut and all of that, all of those spices and foods, you can increase your testosterone, but you can also reduce the estrogen in your body as a man going through these hormonal changes by simply doing something so simple you wouldn't believe it. Take a lemon and grate it. Yes, pour some hot water on it and drink the whole thing, including the skin. Apparently, the skin has a compound in it called dilemonine, which is exceptionally good for reducing estrogen in the body. Yep. So if you reduce the estrogen and eat, foods that will increase your testosterone rather than having artificial testosterone, because the evidence is showing that if you have a jab, that's likely to trigger cancer. But if you increase it naturally, yes, that works. Apparently, it seems to do the trick. So this is what the evidence is pointing at. And I'm saying, get this out there, get it out there, and talk to people about it all the time.
And you're doing that. You've done this on the show as well. You would always have the time to do it. Vasco, we have to round up. So what I need you to do for our viewers is to talk about your radio program and your website details. They can get more info.
Yes. Okay, fine. Thank you. My website is blackhealth.co.uk, and there are lots of fantastic articles on it, even in the archives. My radio program every Sunday morning from 10 to 12 is oneharmonyradio.com. Okay? And I've also now, with some others, including one of my dear friends, Karen Small, and Des Mighty and Kentucky, we have put together a program where we're going to try to raise awareness about all the diseases that afflict our community. And that website is focushealthylife.com. And you can go there and get a taste by selecting About Us, and then there's a short video introducing us to you and telling you what we do. So we're trying to get the word up there as best we can.
And you're doing a good job at it. Thank you ever so much, Vasco. I'll see you soon, won't I?
Within the next 6 months.
We're going to go for a short break now. A short break, we'll see you soon.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it. So it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
Hi, and welcome back to Lifestyle with me, Pam Joseph, here at the Tabernacle in West London. It's all in gear. We're getting ready for the carnival, the biggest street carnival in Europe, and one of the biggest in the world as well. It goes there with Rio, it goes there with a lot of them as well. That is the Notting Hill Carnival. And what better to celebrate that, as we're here in the Tabernacle, with one of the oldest names, the Mangrove. Mangrove Steel Band, Mangrove Mass Band, the Mangrove Restaurant, don't you know? And I've got the leader of the Mangrove Association, Community Association. His name is Clive Phillips. He's here with me now, otherwise known as Mashup. But anyway, we go over that later. How are you doing, Clive?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're very laid back, Clive. I've got to tell you, you're very laid back. You've got a very great reputation. The Mangrove has been there. We're celebrating 50 years this year.
Yeah, 50 years of resistance. Yeah.
There's a story behind the Mangrove, and it started off with a restaurant. It wasn't a big restaurant. It was on the All Saints Road. Let's go through a bit of history for our viewers, for them to better know about the Mangrove.
Well, it was a restaurant that started to upmarket for black people, and it was also, they started getting to be very famous with a lot of celebrities and that, and then we had problem with the police who in those days wanted protection money, and Frank, the owner of the restaurant, he wasn't having it, so he refused. So they started raiding the place for drugs. They made several raids, no drugs. So they come in and they're digging up the food and that, so you couldn't serve the food. So eventually it closed down. It didn't close down exactly, but he got in a fight with the police over it, and it shut down. And the people in the community came out to help him, to support him. So we used to just sit down in the restaurant and lime till late in the night and just playing little games like penny poker and things like that to kill the time. And then it started, and from there it led to being like a gamble house, then a community association, got a pool table in, table tennis board and things like that, and it started till it ended up. We had demonstration about police harassment, and we organized all that from All Saints Road. And from there it led to to the Mangrove 9 trial, where 9 people were charged with riot and a spray, assaulted police and all that. And they all got off. And Frank was the sort of person who didn't like the police behavior and things like that, so he got people to take part in like community, helping other people, giving advice to people, to telling them when police stop and search them or harass them, what to do and where to go to get help. And he had got people on board with him who were doing it, going to the station when people get arrested and things like that. So there's where we start thinking that there was a lot of people who was against it because they didn't believe that the police was doing these things till it happened to them. Yeah, so that is the road we had to go down.
Yeah. So that was born, the Mangrove Community Association. Basically, you formed an association, but also, Clive, through all of this, you also then created your own steel band, your own mass band, and that talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, when the carnival started, we had people there who was like people who know about carnival and know about mass and things like that. So we decided to do our own mass band. And then eventually we decided to do bring our own steel band. and we had already had sound system in place. So all we had was to do was to get our steel band together, and the first year we come out with traditional steel band style with the pan around your neck.
Yes.
And then after that, the following year we went conventional, where the pan was hung on the float.
Yes,
Yeah, and we built on it because the second year we went panorama and won. Because we had what the people of them call the original song from the steel band, because we had, it was, most all the guys was like over 40 who was in the steel band. And because they used to call us the over 40s.
The over 40s.
Yeah, and then gradually we started to train kids and bring them into the band. And eventually the band end up being with people under 25. Under 25.
It has a youthful look to it. I must say, even your son, can I say this? He was interviewed on this show a couple of weeks ago at the launch. And, he's got a great position with the carnival as well. So it is the youthful ones, the younger ones, almost taken over, if you will.
Yeah, they more or less take it over, because at one stage they were saying they don't want no old man in the band. And the elders left and went with another band, which was like pan round neck band, which was like old people.
Yeah. So the veterans band.
The veterans, with people like Ross Anderson and Sterling Bettencourt, and so that is where it is today. So I took a back seat and leave them, but.
No matter that you've taken a back seat, you're still very much in charge with the Mangrove Association, the Community Association. You guys are celebrating 50 years this September. You're celebrating 50 years. That's something, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's 50 years of struggle and resistance, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because we try our best. We did a lot for the community, because we had end up getting our old people home for the elders. Then we had an ex-offenders hostel for young black girls. Then we had a video project training kids and that. Then we had a print shop training people to print T-shirt and do artwork and things. And also a print tree. And one thing from day one, from the Mangrove restaurant start, every year we had people. Every Christmas we had a Christmas party for the elders.
Oh, for the elders. Oh, that's
for the elders, and it wasn't just for this community, because we used to go like Kilburn Park and bring people from different. Yeah. Yeah. So this was something people look forward to. And then later on, we had like Christmas party for the kids, because we used to get like 100 toys from Choice FM and have a Christmas party for the kids and that. So we always doing and trying to help people in the community.
I remember that Choice FM, because I used to work with Choice FM, and so I remember that. I heard about all of that. But talking about this year, 2018, it's 50 years you're celebrating. What are the specialities that you're going to be doing this year? What are you actually doing this year to really celebrate those 50 years?
Well, we wanted to teach, remind people about the history of All Saints Road and what happened there, because
informally known as the line, the front line.
Yeah. So we want to, because a lot of people that used to be there that passed on now, So we're trying to refresh the younger people and show them the struggle that we've been through and what we fought for, so they can walk the streets freely. And one of the reasons why we fight for that is so that they can walk free. But instead of that, now you have people knifing each other, which it's come like it was a waste of our time. Because it's like different gang areas. So we're going to have people speaking about that on the day, and we'll be showing video of the Mangrove 9 and different videos concerning the things that we done, like because we went up to Bristol when they had the riots up there to help the people. We went to the New Course demonstration, Mandela, in Trafalgar Square. We've been to Birmingham when they had Birmingham riot, Brixton. We've been all over. Where they trouble, we go and they ask for our help. We've been there. So we've been doing a lot of work that a lot of people don't realize what Mangrove is about, because they see Mangrove is one way. It was a street, as far as they're concerned, was drugs. But Mangrove was more than it was more than drugs. It was a community that we help each other from cradle to the grave. Because we bury people that when they died, we didn't even know they had family. Till nearly when we were about to bury them, family turned up. So this how we look after each other. And this been going on something. So when we realized, although we don't have a building like before, but people still come to us to ask to get information, because it have a lot of people that came from America that come here they want to find their father, because the mother took them to America when they were small, and they come back, and the only place they could come to find anybody is in the Mangrove. And it have people that come out of prison, and when they end up in the police station, the police send them in the Mangrove. So we was in a situation where the Ashdown Trust that was helping us to set up an office and fund us, and that's where we was able to help.
And to imagine 50 years later and you're still going strong today. This is absolutely amazing. Can I just say that for people to want to get more information, and although it may just say the Mangrove Steel Band, they can still get more information about the Mangrove Association perhaps on this one. So it's all the W's, mangrovesteelband.com. All the W's, Mangrove Steel Band, all one word, .com. You can also get more information as well on another website, again, all the W's, Alfie Petal, A-L-F-I-E Petal, at hotmail.com. So we want to end this now. Clive, what would you... No, before we end this, what does mashup mean? Why are you called mashup?
Mashup is just a name they just give me for...
It is a name, so why did you get the name Mashup?
Well, I the person who gave me that name, they passed on, so, and I never get wrong to asking him.
Everybody calls you. I don't hear Clive. It's all, where's Mashup? Where's Mashup? I say, who's Mashup? And it's Clive. Okay, so that's your nickname. Okay. So what would you like to say about this year's carnival? You know, the youngsters that's going to be coming out to this year's carnival as well. What would you like to advise them to celebrate properly and safely for this year's carnival? Have you got a message out there for the young people wanting to enjoy carnival?
Well, I think they should just come out and just behave themselves properly, because this year I think we won't have the police controlling, so the carnival should flow, and as long as it's flowing, there shouldn't be trouble. But there's always trouble when people have to stand in one spot for hours, and they get bored and they want to fight and things like that, and people coming into your band. And the people who are paid to hold the rope, They sign up for hours, they put the rope
There might
down.
not be much we can do about that, Clive, but certainly don't come to the carnival armed. This is the whole point. If you're going to come with a knife, what are you coming to the carnival with a knife for?
Well, that's the thing. If you come in with a knife, you're coming for trouble. But people who come to play mask, they come to enjoy themselves. So it's not the masqueraders, it's not the steel band people. It's people who come from outside to do it, because it's not people in the community come with knives.
So we want a safe carnival this year, yeah?
And it should be the police work to if they're doing stop and search, stopping them in the coming through when they're coming through. When they're coming through, but like they suggesting.
There's not much you can do about that.
Well, that's what I mean.
Well, we're going to hope it is going to be a safe carnival. We're going to hope to see Mangrove there for the longest time.
Yeah. Well, Mangrove will always be here because building or no building, we still are survive.
50 years of Mangrove and another 50 years of Mangrove. Mashup said so. Yeah, Mashup said so. So we'll see you after the break. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it, so it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Jordan here, and I'm joined by an author of not one, not two, but 3 books, ladies and gentlemen. They're all inspired from true life, and it's an honour right now to introduce Mr. Andrew Beckford.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually good. Just coming from Jamaica, actually. Landed on Sunday, and it's just an experience that I really enjoyed, and which has actually made me wanting to talk about the books more and more, actually.
Fantastic. So, what inspired you to start writing in the first place?
Well, one of the things that inspired me was the fact that some of my life experiences were all in my head, and I wanted to get it out. And the best way to do that is to write. And you know, once I started to write some of the experiences I've gone through and others have gone through, it has made me feel a lot better. You know, it's like a closure. So that was part of the reason why I actually wrote, and to help others who have had certain experiences that some of them, they just don't have a voice, and you know, writing is where that voice comes from.
Perfect, fantastic. So let's start with A Boy's Cry. Was that your first book? Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
A Boy's Cry, definitely.
So tell us, A Boy's Cry. What's the story there?
Well, A Boy's Cry was actually inspired by some of the students that I've taught, because I'm actually a teacher, and myself as a child growing up and seeing certain things that some boys have gone through and girls, but I focus on boys because a lot of the issues that were affecting boys were related to the fathers not being there, and how we could deal with it, how we could actually make it better for them. So I started to write the book, and I've realized that, of course, it was very helpful in many ways, shape and form.
So, seeing that inspiration that you're putting out there, what was the feedback like for that book?
Amazing. I've had people who have actually emailed me to say, you know, that book was my closure. I've had someone from London who said, actually, it's like the main character, you were speaking about me, and it really, really has helped some people to actually deal with issues that they thought were their issues only, and not understanding that, of course, others were having the same problems, and so that is one of the joy for me, really.
That's fantastic. And what I love about, I would call an artistic skill, whether it be writing, singing, is it crosses oceans. You know,
yes,
it reaches
it does.
people. For instance, you're based in Jamaica, and here we are. Someone in London is contacting you, saying how you've inspired them.
But I want to say I'm not particularly based in Jamaica,
Okay,
because I live in the UK.
Okay, sure.
But I travel to Jamaica sometimes, and a lot of the inspirations, as I said, came from Jamaica because I was a teacher in Jamaica. So some of the experiences that I've had was from Jamaica, and then I came and I've been teaching in London, and I've seen similar experiences. So it's almost universal. It's the same problems that we have to look on how to deal with the issues and how to solve these issues.
Again, apologies for getting the location wrong, but what I like is the fact that you've realised that from your travels from Jamaica to the UK, there is a universal problem that needs addressing.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's something where we're not alone in
Yes.
whatever the situation is. And
Yes.
there are solutions and something to relate to. If anything else, you can relate to it, and it allows you to take that next step to get the help that one requires.
Exactly, and that is exactly what A Boy's Cry is about. It's about sort of helping those who feel as if they're alone, who feel as if there's no other way out, and who need to understand that actually, you know, whether it be the economic situation, whether it be the social issues that we have around us, there are ways of dealing with it, and actually understanding that you're not alone is one of the ways, and also making sure that problem is not repeated, or that mistake isn't repeated. And that's the sole purpose of my book, so that others can actually have an open mind of what's going on and not to repeat those mistakes. So you have, of course, lots of, you know, young boys, men who just wildly go around and maybe do whatever, and as a result of that you have, of course, unwanted children, and you have lots of other problems that comes with this. It opens the floor for gangs and all sorts of other issues. So it's about dealing with this and understanding that, of course, these problems do exist, and we need to, you know, hold the cow by its horn and deal with the problem.
Indeed we do. And I love to see people making that step to make a better world. I've always said one investment I always like to make is in the younger generation.
Yes.
And to see someone else do it is fantastic.
Yes.
So I'm really touched.
One of the questions some people have asked me is, why not about girls? And I said, actually, there is another author, a lady who I've been helping to write, and she's gonna actually write A Girl's Cry. So I'm leaving it to her, and she's looking on that aspect, because it's not just the boys who are affected, it's also the girls. And so once we can actually understand this and deal with whatever the problems are, then we're going forward.
Indeed. And one thing I think I would like to add in
Yes.
that is I appreciate the fact that you're actually talking to another author and a lady. One, it's good to see the collaboration.
Yes.
But two, I think perspective.
Yes.
You can write from a young man's perspective, whereas she can write from a young lady's perspective.
Yes.
And I think that is very key in the relation and the building of
Definitely.
what these books are really about. And I again, it's keeping it genuine. It's not
Exactly.
writing just to write.
No,
You're seeing it from a
no.
true perspective that you understand.
Exactly. And one of the things I probably didn't say about the book is that A Boy's Cry is looking on this particular character, Anthony, who has been abused by his mother. And he was abused by his mother because the mother did not have the father around. The father was gone. And when she saw Anthony, she saw the father, so she took it out on him. And subsequently, of course, he had to go through a lot of different problems and issues that he couldn't understand. And then there were some of his other friends who were being affected as well. And so he actually tried to help them. And in the end, he was like a hero, because he was able to let them understand that, listen, together we can solve this and we can work together. And what is most important is forgiving as well. Because if you hold it to yourselves all the time, it eats you away. So it's about forgiving, and if possible, I know this is going to be even more difficult, forgetting as well.
Yeah. They do say you can forgive, but it's harder to forget.
Yes, it's harder to forget, and that is really the issue. And I want these books to be sold, because one of the things I'm trying to do is to organize events, because some of the funding will go to events that I am going to put forward to help communities to understand that this is a wide issue. And there are lots of young men, lots of young women who are actually quiet, silent, but they are suffering, and they do not have anyone to talk to, and they do not know how to get out of this. And there are other implications that follows, whether it be financial, whether it be social, all sorts, and it's about dealing with this. So this, for me, is like a start, and I want it to continue.
Fantastic. What a fantastic way to start. And it's building that investment. I really do appreciate that. So we're talking about A Boy's Cry. I just want to highlight this even more so people really understand the background of your writing.
Yes.
The next one, The Missing Fathers. Would you like to tell us about that one?
Now, The Missing Fathers was basically a continuation from A Boy's Cry. And the thing about The Missing Fathers is that it looked on real life situations, particularly when I was in New York for some time, and I actually understood and knew of someone who was going through certain situations. And the father can be there, but he's not necessarily there, So it looked on different aspects or different examples of people who have suffered as a result of the father not being there. So it continued with, of course, Anthony's father returning, and Anthony himself wanting to know how to deal with this, because he wasn't so sure if he should accept his father, who actually returned at a time when he was about 18. So he's starting to think, oh, this is premeditated. You have come when you don't need to. When I'm a man, when you don't need to have any particular responsibility for me, So what's the plan? So he actually turned his father away, and then you had, of course, other situations of how fathers were there but not there. And it's a very deep book. And as a result of that, if you're going to read The Missing Fathers, I would say you got to have a bit more guts, because it looks on some very, very sad, troubling information, which you wouldn't get in A Boy's Cry, because A Boy's Cry made it a bit more simplistic and look on issues that are not particularly, stomach-turning. The Missing Fathers look on issues that are really deep and stomach-turning, that you definitely would have to be a bit strong to take it in. Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things. If you are lost,
Yes.
and it's something they might find, something they can relate to.
Yes,
So
definitely.
as much as it might be harder to, you're now facing something you could be living through.
Exactly. And that is the whole idea of it. And you know, I've had where a student actually, because I taught at a special needs school, where children, some of them it's mainly behavioral issues, and one student who actually was in a one of those rooms, isolated rooms, and he saw the book, took the book, and he read the book. And I remember that day to this day. He came to the room when it was raining. The book was a bit wet, and he said, "Thank you, sir. Thank you." This really, and this was a really troubled boy. But whatever he read, it certainly transcended to him, and it resonated well with him. So it was something that made a difference to him. And if it's even one person that it has made a difference to, I'm happy.
This is what I was going to ask you. I mean, again, if it catches millions, it's great. But the fact
Exactly.
that you changed one life is a very touching feeling.
It is, yes.
What was, taking that situation of such a, troubled youth, and the
Yes.
fact that he came to find you specifically and say thank you.
Yes.
What was that feeling like for yourself?
Oh, as I said, this happened like 5 years ago. And to this day, it is raw as raw can be. It still makes me feel good to know that this young man who was troubled because his father was there, but his father wasn't there, He saw his father as someone who was abusive and all sorts. But when he read the book, he realized that actually I'm not alone. And actually, maybe I can deal with it, and I can actually understand that this is a reality of life, and I can move on with my life, because it won't be the same for everyone, and everyone is different. He was very, very grateful. So I know that somehow, somewhere, at some point in time, he will start to look on life in a more positive way, and perhaps even be a better person, which is the whole idea.
Indeed. And then last but not least, Forces of Changing Traditions.
Yes, now Forces of Changing Tradition is a totally different genre. It's just about conspiracy theory. As the title itself says, Forces of Changing Traditions. And there are lots of people who are actually thinking along the line today as it relates to Forces of Changing Traditions. As I said before, I'm a teacher. I taught in many schools, different schools. But there was one particular school where I taught at, and majority of the students were blacks. And the things that they went through, the things that I observed, this is, by the way, my first teaching job in the UK. And the things that I saw, I was really troubled, really, really troubled. And for me, from what I saw, these children were being marginalized. And I hope it wasn't because they're race, but I actually had to think along that line. Now, as I looked into the whole situation, I realized that, some of these children, it affects them in later life. And I had to wonder if all this is being manipulated, if all this is being actually done in a way to actually create a certain society. And when I look and I see the evidence of, youngsters stabbing each other in London, I can't help to think, but nowhere differently, that this is possibly being, influenced in some way, shape, or form. But the book in itself looks on how different forces around us are affecting us in many different ways. And ultimately, the aim is to create a new world order. And so we have different forces, unseen forces that we can't see. And their aim is to cause total mayhem. And it doesn't matter about the race, it doesn't matter about the religion, it doesn't matter about, of course, even your financial state. It's about, of course, getting anyone, as long as, of course, they can use all of these different elements. They don't care what your status is, but they will use these things: religion, race, and of course the financial side of it, to get you in a certain stage. And eventually the book shows how this boy tried to stop it, because technology is very much at the heart of these spiritual forces. So he tries to stop it. and the character is more or less schizophrenic. But he tried to stop it in his mind, and he tried to stop it with the satellite, of course, because the satellite runs the computers, run the phones, and so on. And he was traced, and he was eventually taken, you know. But he fought a good fight to stop this. But the whole idea is that, you know, we have to really look out for ourselves and eventually, individually, look out for ourselves, because the ultimate aim is to create a new world order and to have a chip in our bodies, and that is where the book is really going.
I hear you. So that is really interesting. What I want to touch on now, very briefly, because time is catching with us. You mentioned that these 3 books, fantastic books that I would encourage everyone to go for, are to help for an event. So, in terms of building that, can you just give away your website details and just a final message that you'd like to give to the viewers? How they can support the cause that you'd like to go?
Yes. So the website is www.abeckford.co.uk. That's www.abeckford.co.uk. And if you buy it through this website, you are making it better for me, because I'm able to actually get more funds. Or if you even get the ebook from Amazon, that's fine. The hard copy is basically also easily accessible, but I get less from it. So that is why I'm pushing for my website and, of course, also ebook Amazon.
Indeed. Well, sir, I appreciate the difficulties it is behind publishing a book. So I congratulate you on having these out. And I love the vision that you're trying to build and putting the events on to make it go further. So I'd like to take the chance to officially shake your hand and congratulate you on the work and wish you the very best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much and wishing you the best of luck. Please support these books. It's all towards a great cause by Mr. Andrew Beckford. They're all out there. Forces of Tradition, The Missing Fathers, and A Boy's Cry. I do support these. It's a great cause. Anthony Jordan, Andrew Beckford, signing out.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it, so it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
Welcome back to Lifestyle with me, Pam Joseph, here at the Tabernacle in Ladbroke Grove. I call it this the heart of Carnival. Forget about Notting Hill, it's Ladbroke Grove. And as we've been here enjoying, if you can hear the background music as well, it's a bit of jazz going on, and there's calypsos on other nights as well, and soca going on, and it's all about leading up to Carnival. It's so good. And who have I got with me? A Barbadian musical artist. Now, he goes by the name of Mr. Rule. And he's here in London town. He's actually in the studio. He's compiling an album, putting an album together. But he's recently had a track out called Superstar. So he joins me here at the Tabernacle. Lovely to see you, Chad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Should I call you Chad or Mr. Rule?
Call me whatever you want to call me. It doesn't matter.
I think I'd like Chad, although I know your stage name is Mr. Rule.
Well, you can call me, as they say, whatever you want to call me.
You're in the studio, I hear, and you're actually in the throes of trying to get an album together.
Well, that is my main goal. I'm working on some records, and I'm having so much fun with them, you know. But they're very personal songs, you know, and they're songs that could make people cry because anyone can relate to that. Because I believe as an artist, your artistry should reflect who you are, you know, and your experiences.
Now you say very emotional songs. The title Superstar, which was recently released, Superstar, talk to me about that.
Well, Superstar is very personal. You know, I've lost my mother when I was 5 years old. She was murdered. And the song was saying, no matter what you're going through, that you can still achieve. You can still achieve the unachievable. You can still achieve anything in life, you know. It doesn't define who you are as a person. No.
So you pen your music, experiences, life experiences, other people's experiences. How it's not that easy to pen your own songs though, still.
It's not that easy, it's a process. And I tell people that I can only write songs when the inspiration hits me. I just can't wake up one day and say, I would like to write a song and it happens like that. I would have to be inspired by something, by some experience I've gone through.
I mean, talking about Carnival, we're here, we can hear the background music as I was saying. Now, Chad, a couple of weeks ago, you appeared here, a sort of event that they had here. Did you do Superstar when you did that?
No, I didn't do Superstar. I did a song called Not My Vote. It's a political song. It's telling politicians that they can't get my vote anymore.
Okay, so you're telling it back home or here?
Back home, the song was it caused a lot of controversy, and they banned it from the radio. But, you know, I am very proud to have a banned song. It means I strike a nerve, right?
Right, of course. But you don't seem the type to be political, but if you feel strongly about something, you would just come out and really want to put that out there.
I believe that is called true artistry, you know. There's nothing wrong with, at the end of the day, someone has to tackle the issues. And you can't be afraid. For me, a true Calypsonian, a true Calypsonian is a Calypsonian. They aren't afraid to tackle certain issues that some other Calypsonians may be afraid to do. I'm not afraid to do that, yeah.
But you say you're Calypsonian, but you also sing other genres of music. Talk to us about that, because you've got a wide berth here.
Well, I consider myself as versatile. I'm an all-rounder. I can do soca, I can do calypso, reggae, pop, R&B, and a little bit of jazz.
That we're hearing now, the jazz right now. Why are you so versatile? Why is it that you like all of this? It's just in you, the rhythm of it all?
I was born to do music, you know, and I was born to be a musician, you know, an artist. Yes.
Now, you say you're in the studio at the moment, and you're getting a track out, but I've got this in front of me. It's called The Best of Sir Rule. And on this, we've got about 15 tracks, and one of them is Superstar inside his own. So on the, as I'm holding this physically, and we know it's out there, how can people get hold of this? Talk to me about this. Where can they go to? How can they purchase this?
Well, you could contact me on Facebook, Sir Rule, Instagram, Sir Rule, and that's how you can reach me, you know. Yeah.
And so when are we likely to know about or understand and get this when we get the press release, when we get the announcement that Cerule has now completed his album, when is it likely?
I guess when I'm at the Grammys, accepting my first Grammy award. I'm just joking. I'm sure that.
Do you think before the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely, because I'm working on some music videos also as well. So once my music is out there, I'm sure people will hear. YouTube is YouTube, you know. You just go on YouTube but it definitely will be there.
You got the strong Barbadian accent. You're obviously born over there. How long have you been here? I mean, are you just stepping into England for what? Have you been living here for a little while?
No, this is my first time spending such a long time here. I've been here before. But before I say anything, I must thank my godmother, Eleanor Small, for believing in me and for having so much faith in me, you know. I think she's a wonderful person and such a visionary to see so much potential in me, and I really appreciate that. Yes.
So whilst we're coming up to Carnival now, have you got any idea, you're going to be performing anywhere? Have you got any gigs organised? What are you going to be doing around that time?
In terms of gigs, we are working on that, but I have had some performances lined up for me. I just want to enjoy the Carnival. I want to go and jump in a band. You know, I'm from the Caribbean, so that is what we do.
Well, what I want you to do is that when you've got the gigs coming up, let us know about them on Lifestyle so we can tell the viewers where you're going to be at. Yeah, so we want to promote that. So wherever you're going to be at, we want to know about it so we can promote it. And in the meantime, as you say, this is out and they can go to all your connections here. So Cerule, is that 246? 246.
246 Barbados. 246 means Barbados.
Is that the code?
Yes. Well, that is our code, and that is what that is what artists use in hashtags. 246 Barbados. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And can we get a couple of signed ones? Or at least you can sign a couple for us, so we can get our viewers to at least lucky viewers to have a chance of getting hold of this. If we can ask a very simple and straightforward question, Chad, right? Something we've spoken about. Very easy question, but if you can sign a couple of those for us, let's say you're going to sign 6 of these. So there's 6 lucky viewers that can get signed copies of this, right? So, what's an easy question?
You are the interviewer, not me.
Okay, I gotta give these a start. Okay, where was Chad, aka Mr. Rule, born? Which Caribbean island? Mr. Rule was born. Which Caribbean island? And it's so easy. And you know the drill by now. LifestyleOnBen@hotmail.co.uk, and this is going to last for 2 weeks. Competition 2 weeks. There's signed 6 copies of this, signed CDs. Yes, it should be, even by your accent alone, darling.
You know.
Lovely. Chad, it's been a pleasure. I think we were told that you're going to be doing a little bit of an a cappella for us. Is that correct? Is it going to be Superstar? Okay, so should I give you the mic and sort of lean back a bit, and can we get a bit of Superstar?
Just a bit. Growing up in this life, it was not an easy time. Wasn't the average child. Abandoned. Didn't go to play, never had no friends, music was the only way. They used to tease me, criticize me, make me feel like I was nobody. Wanna break my hope and put me low, try to stop me, discourage me, enough of them walk over me. And a voice would say, you gotta stay strong. You got this on lockdown. Let us see you can achieve anything you just believe. You are a superstar. Hold on, keep striving. you're almost there. Hold on to your faith. Superstar, superstar, superstar. Superstar, superstar, superstar. Thank you.
Love it, love it. And you are a superstar. Thank you ever so much, Chad. Thank you ever so much for coming onto the show.
And thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Okay, we're keeping it musical because after the break we're going to be doing the entertainment corner with no other than Anthony Jordan. See you shortly. Don't go anywhere.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it, so it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
Gentlemen, Anthony Jordan here for the Lifestyle Show on Ben TV. As you can see, I'm surrounded by some amazing, bright, sun-beaming costumes, as it were. But it's not for me to talk about it. I'm going to be joined by Anike of the Smokey Joe Roadshow, and she's going to give us a bit more details and let you know how you can sign up to be part of this fantastic ensemble. So, right now, honour, pleasure, Anike of the Smokey Joe Roadshow. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you very much.
So tell us, what are these fantastic costumes that I see before us?
So this is our theme for Notting Hill Carnival this year. It's called Sunbeam. It's a tribute to Claudia Jones. Ooh, a bit noisy in here.
It's the atmosphere. It's the tabernacle atmosphere, but we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah, the tabernacle atmosphere is nice. They're all getting ready for Carnival.
And the music provided by Smokey Joe. You can't complain.
Of course, yeah. We're lucky enough. Well, I'm lucky enough to have that on hand. You know, the best entertainment on the road, really. But yeah, Smokey Joe Roadshow. We're partying with a purpose, as we do. We've adopted this process over the last couple of years, just to really be on the road, making sure that we're not just out here to have a good time, but to also promote good causes. So our sponsors are the NEU, so they're the National Education Union. as well, and love music, hate racism. So we're getting our causes on. It's all right, I'm cooking under here.
I do apologise. I'll try and keep it brief.
Hot weather too.
Yeah, indeed, it is. It's blazing. But so, as you said, it's not just partying. You're partying with a purpose.
Yeah.
How important is it to have that kind of a message behind your roadshow?
Well, I think especially with Notting Hill Carnival, the image of Carnival is always slightly tainted in media because there's always a focus on some of the negative aspects, but there is so much more culturally, so much more enrichment. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't go on. I mean, let's face it, if it was as bad as people say, it would never even continue. But the thing is, it's actually, for us in particular, we want to be part of the solution to that. And that is, we're not just out there having a good time. We're not just out there showing our lovely costumes and everybody else is having a good time, but what we're also doing is encouraging participation. Especially this year with a lot of the interest in the whole Windrush scandal and things like that, the contribution that Caribbean people have made to this country includes Carnival.
It is indeed, it is indeed. Now, I know you said it's the sun, is that the correct word? Sunbeam. So, how much input have you had on the design? Like, could you talk us through it?
These ones are actually designed by Big Mike of Legacy in Trinidad. So we're blessed enough to even have that input. I mean, for me, that's very exciting. We've got a long-standing relationship with them. Legacy is a big, well-known band there. So the design, when you say to him, Sunbeam, or when you give him a theme or you work on a theme, he just knows how to capture it. We had a little girl come up to me and looking at the collar from this costume. The first thing she said to me is that, "Oh, that looks like the sun, the circle, this and that." So, when people can look at a costume and decide what the theme is straight away, you've done a good job.
Indeed you do, indeed you do. So for anyone now looking who may have not been to Notting Hill Carnival before, they're looking to join a mass camp. How can they get involved? How can they get into one of these fantastic costumes?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to look us up on Facebook, because on Facebook we have all the organisations that run the carnival. I'm part of one of the organisations that are the arenas that actually help to run Carnival. But for us in particular, all they have to do is look up Smokey Joe Roadshow and they'll find us on Facebook, and then they can join in. It's very, very easy.
And again, if you've never experienced Carnival, what is it like being part of the Smokey Joe Roadshow?
For us, a typical day is, it never really starts off the way you think it will. You think, oh my gosh, it's going to be hard, my feet are going to be tired, and I'm worried about my costume. You get there, because we fit our costumes, so they're not this kind of thing where you don't know what you're going to get. You come, you get your costume fitted. It's a little easier on the newbies because it's a nice, easy way. The experienced ones, they're used to, fixing things on the road and, little staple yourself in. You might have had too much roti and jerk chicken.
Carnival's about.
That's what it's about. So, but on the day, on the road, you don't let anything spoil your fun. And so people immediately, the Sunday, we come out in the t-shirts. Sunday is the warm-up. That is the day when people take it too much. They get a bit into it, and the next day they can't wait to get back out on the road again. It's one of those things that you think you will never be a spectator again after you've played in a costume.
That is sold perfectly. Absolutely perfect. So just once again, any social media, any contacts, how they can be part of Smokey Joe Roadshow?
They can hit me on Instagram, Smokey Joe Roadshow, Smokey Joe Roadshow Facebook, Smokey Joe Music if you're listening to the radio shows, because we have a radio show on Roots FM every Monday morning, The Late Breakfast, aka The Hangover Cure. Because, after the weekend there's a lot of fetes and lots of events going on around. And you can also contact me by email and things like that. So I'll give you my details.
Okay, great stuff. They will be up on screen. Onike, thank you very much for your time and wishing you a great, great carnival. And by the looks of it, you've got some great costumes about.
Well, we're ready. We're lucky. We got the sale on. We're celebrating 50 years in music this year. So we've got a good sale on. We've got a lot of prices. People looking at the costumes like they can't believe the price. They can't believe it. They're like, where's the catch?
It's a deal. It's a steal. Go for it.
Right, that's it. It's a deal, it's a steal. I like that one. I shall be using that one later.
Go for it. No. I'd like to see a lot of these on the road, so that's great stuff. Anike, thank you very much for your time.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, you heard it. It was a fantastic interview. Thank you very much to Anike for her time. The music in the background, courtesy of the man himself, the one and only Mr. Smokey Joe. And as again, if you want to be part of this fantastic ensemble, do check it out. Facebook, Smokey Joe Roadshow. It's on all the social networks. Check it out and join the party. It's time. It's Notting Hill Carnival is only weeks away. Here's a sample of what you could be a part of. Anthony Jordan signing out.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it, so it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
So this is something really interesting. I'm actually joined by Sarah, who's never actually been to a Notting Hill Carnival. Sarah, you've actually been to the Tabernacle. Is the Notting Hill Carnival something you're actually looking forward to?
Yeah, definitely. I think this year's going to be my first year, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm local to the area, and I've always been involved with the community, and I've been to the Tabernacle quite a few times. But yeah, Carnival is on my to-do list, so I'm looking forward to it this year, yeah.
Were you actually upstairs for the...
Yeah, and it actually really, really inspired me to go. Not that I never wanted to go, I was always kind of intrigued, but it wasn't, I guess, with dates and times and work or whatever. But having been to the event upstairs, now I'm really, really excited to go, and it's definitely going to happen this summer.
As I said, it's one of those moments that everybody enjoys, so I really do hope you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'll have a bit of a boogie.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, right now we're joined by Fiona and Jason. How are you both doing? Great. So we've had the official press launch for the Notting Hill Carnival. How did you guys find it?
I loved it. I just thought it was so positive, it was happy, and it's made me really look forward to Carnival more than ever.
Well, I mean, I admit I came a bit late because I came from work, but what I saw echoes what Fiona says. It's breathing new life into Carnival, and that's what we need.
The Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Whether you came early, come late, you always get included straight away. It's such a
Tabernacle is the Tabernacle, isn't it? That's a legendary venue, you know, and it's central to so much what Carnival means to this community. You know, this is the place where everyone needs to come. You know, I remember when I came to England, everyone, Tabby, you have to come to the Tabby, and you come and it's hot, but you find yourself coming back every week. It's just that spirit, and hopefully we get that again in Carnival this year.
This is one of the key things that's been mentioned quite a bit from everyone who we've had interviewed. The focus on the younger generation, how it really has a strong focus now on building the Carnival for the younger generation in the future. How important is that for you?
Oh, absolutely important. I mean, you know, it might sound a cliche, but children are the future. And I think children are also the artists of tomorrow. And I loved the rawness of that, the performance tonight by the children. I loved that it felt that it was theirs.
But again, I echo what Fiona says, because I work with children, and sometimes I feel I can't keep up with them. You know, the ideas, and then you think, right, you know, the mind is always going, and it's brilliant. Because, I mean, they're the future. Our job is to make sure we lay proper foundation that they can build on, you know?
So Fiona, tell us a bit more about your involvement with the Carnival. What will you be doing during the Carnival?
So,
what are you up to? I mean, Carnival's a year-long process, so what are you doing?
So I used to run a children's mass band that evolved in a primary school in the local area with local children. And we did that for 17 years until our kids grew up. And then luckily, I got the pan bug. And then thanks to Jason, and I give Jason full credit, I'll be playing pan at Carnival on a truck. We're playing a set of tunes that we've been working on for months, every Monday and Tuesday night, and we'll be UFO Steel Band at Carnival.
Jason, I'm gonna ask you now, because you seem to be the master of the music. Can we get an insight into what will be played, or is it a surprise for on the day?
No, we're just playing some soca tracks from 2018, right? Maybe one or two from 2017, depending how it goes, you know. But it's all about. But for me, what I like about being in UFOs is not about how we sound or where we come in competition-wise. It's just about enjoying yourself, and that to me is Carnival. You know, you come out and you just let everything go, and you just play, just enjoy, be free, and that's what we try to do. That's what I try to do in my arrangement. So you're not trying to do anything too complex. Something easy that you can just play, and you can. When you look on our truck, all you want to see is smiles. You know, everyone having a good time.
Perfect. That is the essence of Carnival. And for yourself, I'm going to ask you both this one. What is your greatest? What is it you look forward to the most with Carnival?
Oh, so many things. So many things. I think it's that feeling of reclaiming the streets with friends, and at Carnival friends can be strangers, and the feeling of unity and togetherness, and also bringing music to the people. It's just so wonderful when people don't want you to stop playing, and people just give you that energy that you keep playing for 7 hours.
I mean, what I love about Carnival is there's no strangers. Everyone is like you've known them for years, you know, and that's what to me Carnival is about. You know, you come out with a bunch of strangers, you have a blast, whether you're in a band, you're on the road, you're at the side. It's just enjoy yourself, you know. Forget the troubles, you know. No worry. We worry about paying the rent and the mortgage on the Monday. I mean, sorry, on the Tuesday. Yes. No, I'm thinking Trinidadian on the Tuesday. And Carnival, you just come and just have a blast, enjoy yourself. So anyone out there that you need to come to Notting Hill Carnival this year, because
such a perfect way of selling it from you both. So for anyone wanting to get involved with what yourselves are doing, you guys are both doing, is there any contact details you'd like to give out?
Well, we have a website, www.ufosteelband.com, and we're also on Twitter and Instagram, but the website, the emails come straight to us, and you don't have to have any experience to join us. You can be completely new to pan or to music. And that's a really wonderful thing. You know, I've been new to pan, and I really love pan. So we really welcome everyone.
Okay, right now it's an honour to have the mic in front of this gentleman again, the one, the only Mr. Colin Salmon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. I've really enjoyed the press launch of Notting Hill Carnival 2018. It's exciting.
It had a nice atmosphere, a bit warm, but it was a really nice atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't be Carnival if you weren't sweating, really, isn't it?
Exactly. So talking of the essence of Carnival, what are your fond memories and greatest moments of Carnival? What are your favourite moments each year bringing you back?
Oh man, every time I come out and I hear the sound of the music being pumped out of the sound systems. I think one of my best memories was Half Pint when I first moved into the area with Greetings I Bring from Jar. Every sound system tested their sound that morning with it, echoing around the street. It was the best. And of course, working with Fox Carnival myself, when we led 600 people down Ladbroke Grove towards the end of those years, that was a highlight. And now with Fox Steel Band playing, we rehearse every week and we're ready. We've got some new tunes, and every year I just don't know how we do it. We just learn 5-6 brand new tunes, and I think that's really important though. For Carnival it's about not looking back. It's always about going forward. New sounds, new looks, new costumes. It's really interesting. It's always innovative,
Yeah. Funny enough, when you mentioned the music, I was going to mention that you are a pan player yourself. How did you get involved in the playing of the pan?
My boys started to play pan at CSI when we moved to Shepherd's Bush. Now we've been doing a masquerade for 17 years, and our children were then leaving school, but we wanted to continue to be part of Carnival, and then my wife started to play, and then that band folded for us, so we started a band, and we actually did 1,000 pans at 2012 in Jubilee Gardens, because I heard all these pan players play Brazil, so we played at the ending weekend of the Olympics. It was the biggest pan. It's on the world record, sort of 1,000 pans. It's online, you can see it. And from there, we just created a band, and now I play.
Fantastic. Well, if there's a way to start, that is a way.
That's it. Well, I think the key is with pan. The pan is an really powerful instrument because regardless of your ability, you can stand next to a master. So I used to I play trumpet. So when you're in a brass band, you have second cornets, first cornet, solo cornet. So you start in seconds, but you're next to the first, so that encourages you to improve, and then you improve. And so with Jason, who's our arranger, he arranges for people's ability, but they can still be part of the band. But then we carry the heavy load because we've been playing longer. New players can play too, and very quickly you're going. And that's the thing. You're not looked down on. Nobody goes, "Who are you?" This is Carnival. It's about inclusion. It's about people being part of it. So it's like if you know a simple dance step, just do it with all your heart, and then you're in. That's it.
That's perfect. I love that. That's perfect. You got it. And in terms of yourself, any upcoming projects we can look out?
There's some new shows coming out. Yeah, Krypton's coming out on E4, and that's amazing. That's 200 years before the birth of Superman, and I have a really quite powerful part to play in that. I can't tell you what it is, but it's worth watching. And then I've been working with the great, and I'll get it out because this is a gift from Peter. This is from New Zealand because I've been working with Peter Jackson.
Wow.
On Mortal Engines, which is a new film coming out December 14th, and that's massive, and that's about London as attraction city. It's dystopian, it's science fiction, it's powerful. Yeah, it's going well.
Indeed it is. Indeed, it's always a pleasure seeing you on the screen.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And for anyone wanting to follow you on any social networks, anything you'd like to give out?
On Twitter, I'm Colin Salmon 24. That's my age, by the way. That'd be cheeky. Same on Instagram. But yeah, those two things there. Fox Carnival, you'll find me. And whatever you're doing, whatever it is you believe you want to do or try, just do it. I mean, you can see what's happening. You can see Wakanda is everywhere. It's a movement. It's a really great time. I'm very excited for everything, from Africa to Caribbean to America. The diaspora is powerful, and to all of you guys, the young people who are going forward, who've studied hard, worked hard, and have achieved and got yourselves to the heights you're at, we're so proud of you. We're the parents who, some of us fell and stumbled, but we never ever took our eye off you. So we're very proud of what our children are doing. So just keep doing it, and we've got your backs, all right?
So that is so powerful. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
That's a real honour. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, what can I say? It's been an absolutely fantastic moment. We've seen so many people, and what I really like is the carnival looks really, positive. It actually feels like a moment, not that Carnival wasn't before, but it feels like a new generation, a new wave. Everything's going to be really exciting and regenerated, rejuvenated. It's something to do. So my advice, come down to the Tabernacle, because the Tabernacle's the place to be. It's Lifestyle's new home. But as well as that, it's everything's going on. This is one of the hubs pre-Carnival. During the Carnival it's going to be big, but August, the bank holiday weekend in August, the place to be is Notting Hill Carnival. If you haven't been there, this is definitely a year to try it out. Forget the negative press. You've heard it from so many people who have been there year in, year out. It is nothing but positivity, something to enjoy. So for myself, till the next time, I'm Anthony Jordan, signing out.
What I love about my natural hair is that it brings out me and my natural beauty, and I love it because it's full of cover and full of style.
What I love about my natural hair, it's healthy, curly, it keeps my face warm, and I can do lots of styles with it. I love about my natural hair is that it's nice, it's curly, and it makes me have comfort in my life.
What I love about my natural hair is how curly it is and the texture of it, because whenever I feel it, it makes me so happy.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's easy to do, it's really soft, and that I don't really have to worry about doing it when my sisters are getting theirs done, and it's really easy to wash.
I love my natural hair because when it's wet, you can see all the nice curls and it's nice and shiny, and it's big and crazy like me.
I like my natural hair because it's more beautiful and more shiny, and I like it because it's beautiful and pretty. It's so beautiful and so lovely and so amazing. What I love about my natural hair is that I can do it in different styles, like plait it, twist it, straighten it, curl it.
What I love about my natural hair is that it's very versatile and I can do loads of styles with it, so it shows how amazing I am, and it's just really, it shows what I'm feeling and how I express my feelings.
What I like about my natural hair is that it's very fluffy and you can do it in lots of different styles. But if you put too much chemicals in it, you can't do it.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Jordan here reporting from the Crown Plaza, and it's an absolute honour right now to meet a pioneer in the game, a legend in the game, the one, the only Mr. Vegas. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man, I'm good. Thanks for having me on the programme.
No, thank you. So, as we've just seen, the new album, Ism, it's out.
Yes, sir.
It's out. How's it feel? How's it feel to have it out? What's the reception been like for yourself so far?
Yo, listen, mate, everyone that has listened to this record, is, totally blown away. You see what I'm saying? By the growth, one, and the message. You see what I'm saying? And the way it's put together. The amount of research we did, where we're coming from, because it's not just myself. The other producers, the other engineers and stuff like that. So it's the growth and the lyrical contents. Because remember Mr. Vegas, people know Mr. Vegas as a dancehall artist. They broke it down and the heads high and the party turn up and so forth. So for people to listen to this album and hearing the message, trying to connect back, especially Jamaicans and West Indian people, to their African roots. Because that's the whole purpose of this album, to connect back, especially West Indian people, to their African roots. Because we have totally forbidden, most of us, some people are awakened now, totally, forbidding our culture and where we're coming from. And when I started my journey through Christianity to where I'm at now. You see what I'm saying? And getting to find out that everything started in the motherland.
Indeed.
Yes, I.
Yeah. That is very important, and I think with the power that you have, it's important for people to be able to get that message received from someone who can influence them. This is something I would like to congratulate you on, sir, to use your power to spread the word and influence people further to gain that knowledge.
And that is, I think that is the reason why I have a platform. You see, social media was created to spread, messages. It's not going to be always good. But what are you going to do with your platform? You see what I'm saying? Are you going to try and make a difference? You see what I'm saying? Are you going to try and make a difference in spreading, some form of positivity? What are you going to put in the universe? Because, things are coming at you. But what are you going to adhere to? And that is important for me to use my platform, not just to always push dancing song and sexy songs, and that's all good, because we want the girls to be sexy. We want them to enjoy their sexiness. We want them to look sexy. A woman is supposed to look sexy, feel sexy, without have to worry about someone is going to attack me. You see what I'm saying? Or attack her. So, this album, it's just a joy, the way people are receiving it, and the fact that we could pull it off.
No, I do congratulate you on that, sir. You said it was a lot of research in building the album. How long did that take to let's say, get those discoveries and then put that into music?
It's a journey. It's an ongoing journey. We're still learning, and this is just one chapter. You see what I'm saying? This is just one chapter. Maybe the other chapter is going to be something more up-tempo, but we're still going to have message in there. The message in there. With, why it's important for a girl to exercise, her waistline, the importance of sending the Kundalini energy up her spine, which we don't teach. We don't teach, people to meditate. We don't teach people about their chakras. And everything is a balance.
Indeed.
And a lot of people don't know that just knowing about the human anatomy, you can actually self-heal. If you know about the pressure points in your body, some things you don't even have to go to the doctor for. Last night I felt like I was catching, the flu or something, that my body was fighting off something. Because I don't say I am sick. Because if I say I am sick, I already manifest that. You understand? If I put that in my subconsciousness, that's going to come forward. So I say I am better. You see what I'm saying? So last night I was like, my body was going through a battle. Today I'm well. You see what I'm saying? So we try to teach people along the line, and over the time working on this album, it's still a learning process. But what we've learned so far, some of what we've learned so far, from the great Ben Youssef. Ben Youssef is like one of the greatest historians of our time. He's an African. That is our story. Too long we've been working with his story. Whose story? His story. Who? It's not our story. What about our story? And for me to try to take this message back to even my people in Jamaica, the West Indies, sometimes it's difficult because they do not know their story. So they see it as blasphemous. Because they're saying, oh, if I should say, Ogun, if I should say, Shango, if I should say Yaruba, they're going to be like, oh, he's blaspheming. But then we have angels named Michael. Michael is a European name. We ain't saying the European mustn't have their angels. But what about our angels? You see what I'm saying? So if you use African names to pay homage to your deities, because the Bible did not tell us about just, the creator or their creator. It told us about all the angels, Gabriel, Michael, all of these names, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all these names, disciples. What about our disciples? Like Ben Youssef, Walter Williams and his people. What about our disciples? What about the gospel of Ben Youssef? who went into ancient Egypt, lived among snakes and crocodiles to bring us the information of where we are coming from along the Nile. Not just in Egypt, but all the way from up Uganda, down to the Nile, through Ethiopia, through Sudan. What about our history?
It needs to be told.
It needs to be told. So why should I be afraid of people saying, oh, your career? Oh, people are going to say you talk too much. And people are going to hate you. Yeah. They did a poll in Jamaica. I was the most hated in my country. Why? Because I'm bringing this information and I'm challenging the status quo. I'm saying, yeah, it's good, nice. I still like the party songs them too. But what is my purpose?
And that is the key. That is the key thing. There is a purpose and a message to be delivered.
Right.
And it is being delivered. And it's much, I believe where you say that it could, a poll can reveal that is, on a personal note, I will say, it's when we are given news or information that is contrary to the norm. They see it, it's a difficulty to accept.
Most definitely. But we're living in an era of information. We're living in an era of information. And whosoever is going to sit there and say, you know what, I don't want to learn anything new, that's on you. I want to learn what's up. I want to learn how did I become a Smith. Is that an African name? No. It's not. So that means I have the name of my plantation owner, Smith. I'm from the Smith plantation. So I went to Uganda. Mega D said, your name is Subi. So, Subi? Never met this man before. He just looked at me. Your name is Subi. 10 years ago. I said, what that means? He said, you're hope. I said, okay, I'll take it. So maybe I'm the Black Hope. Not the B-L-A-C-K. The B-L-A-K. Because I lacked nothing. I was born with everything. God gave us everything. Or the Creator, or the Almighty. We got all the resources in Africa. And it's sad, even now, when I speak to Africans in Africa, sometimes it feels as if the people that were taken out, our foreparents that were taken out as slaves, and we as the offsprings, it feels as if some Africans will look at us like, oh, they want to be Africans. No, we don't want to be Africans. I'm an African. And whatever the name was before, that is my land.
Indeed.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not no wannabe. So if I want to sing a song and sound like Stone Boy, if I want to sing in an African accent, let me sing in it. Don't tell me that I don't have it 100% because they took us out. Teach me it. Be proud when you hear me trying to sound like an African instead of sounding like Mr. Smith.
It's about embracing our history.
Of course.
Indeed.
Of course.
That's true. So let's talk about the tracks at the moment. Wakanda Jam has been out, that, as you said, which is honouring the party side of Mr. Vegas.
Yes.
It's definitely shown there.
With the Wakanda message.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
How did one come about creating that? What made you choose that name?
The dance in the video that the girls and the guys are doing, it's a fertility dance that I saw in Africa.
Okay.
The fertility dance, because we are used to our fertility dance. Yeah? So I looked up the dance and I realized that, yo, this is something that, a cultural thing. So, when I saw the movie, I said, yo, I got to make a song and incorporate the dance. And, we understand it's Hollywood, but we understand the message of the movie. It's just showing you that black people were not swinging on whisks or trees. Like a lot of people believe that we were so uncivilized. We were so uncivilized that we were swinging on trees, like monkeys. And that is far from the truth. Civilization started in Africa. We need to own it. We need to own it. No one is gonna bring that to the table and say, hey, we gotta own it. And if you, just like reggae music now in Jamaica, Other people are more successful outside of Jamaica doing reggae music. That's why there's a song on the album called Bring Back the Reggae. Because in Jamaica, we ain't playing it. We don't want to do it anymore. So someone else is taking it. Yeah?
What do you believe is the reason why it's not being as popular in its homeland?
Lack of education. We don't appreciate what Bob Marley did. We do not appreciate what Dennis Brown did, Tennessee did, Barrington Levy did. Until we start appreciating our ancestors, then we will understand the importance to preserve their legacy, to preserve the foundation that they built. It's like your father give you a house, and you just come and you see all this money and you see all of these beautiful things in the house, and you just treat it like your father did not blood, sweat and tears to build it. So you run it down, and then you have to sell it for nothing because it don't worth anything because you mash it up. Yeah?
That is one of the sad things in life, that sometimes we take for granted what we see before us and don't know how to treasure it. Indeed.
Yep.
Currently out now is Black Princess.
Right.
What's the concept behind that track? How did you come about?
Simple. When I started, you know, doing more research and stuff like that, and I realized that, the way they taught us how to treat the woman is a lie. The woman must never be the one that stays silent. Even in our homes, you notice that the woman basically, she, you know, formulate everything. Look how many homes we have with just the woman. Indeed. So why are we going to teach, you know, especially our male kids, that the woman is a weaker vessel? You can only be weaker if there is someone else who is stronger than you. Who else in the house that is stronger than the woman? There's no man there. So how must she be a weaker vessel? So when she goes to church, she get a message from the pastor. Oh, a woman is a weaker vessel. That's in the Bible. And she owns that. But who is he comparing her to? Because she go home and she do the work as the man and the woman. So Black Princess has to be first. And this is the first song on the album.
Yes, that's fitting. That is fitting. I respect that a lot.
Yes.
The breakdown, not that I disagreed with it, but I've never seen it from that point of view. I've always believed in it, but I've never seen it from that point of view of, in comparison to who are you saying that's weaker?
It can only be, you gotta, who you gonna put her beside? What's the teaching in English? Weak, weaker, whatever. Strong, weak, weaker. So where's the strong? How did you get her to be weak or weaker? Where is strong? Who is strong? It's her alone. Single mothers.
That's true. That is true.
Because, again, because of circumstances and because of lack of education and lack of, you know, the way we raise our boys. Lack of education, lack of knowledge. The way we raise our boys. We teach them that, you know what, you're the one, you're the macho one. You know, be tough, you know? And they grow up that way. And they treat the woman as such. And as soon as some women start making some money, they ain't gonna take that abuse anymore. So they be like, yeah man, I ain't gonna take this no more because everyone has feelings. Yes, I.
That's very powerful. And there are so many tracks on here, but I'm sticking to those that are out there. The album is currently out. As you said, it's a different style to what what people would expect from Mr. Vegas, but it's a very important message. It has a very cultural side to the reggae, which I think is also very to be admired. It has that feeling of traditional reggae, which you said we have to honor and not take for granted.
It's like watching Denzel Washington career. You see Denzel Washington do some drama shows. You see him do, you know, gangster shows. You see him do comedy. You know, so you see him doing comedy. So I just think music is the same way. It's an art. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to paint the same picture you know, all the time.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying? It's an art. Head's Eye was chapter, you know, chapter. I Am Blessed was a chapter. Rock It Down was a chapter. Sweet Jamaica, another chapter. Gospel album, if you want to call it gospel, was another chapter. An important chapter, because that chapter is what led me to this. And the book is not finished.
No,
Far from
finished. And I admire the education that's coming on in this chapter and the chapters to come.
Of course, and there's so much information, but this is a start, man. It's a start for you to question some things. At least think. I was blind, but now I think. Yeah?
That's great. So, can I just ask for, if it's not too much, an a cappella of one of the tracks on the album that you'd like to spread a message with?
I know, say enough of them I say we confused. Give them the truth and I hit them refuse. But it's time to win, a long time we a lose. So that's why all them drugs and them poisonous booze. Damn it, them stole everything from Kemet. The motherland with the resources, them in a bit. They round us up and put us on that Jesus ship. And held us captive on the side of the planet. You don't want to hear the truth, it's just the way they plan it. Sending your food with the GMO to make you vomit. Them give you 66 books, you can't understand it. So you have to get a pastor in a church where you can.
Thank you very much, sir. That is just a small taste of what you can expect on this album. Kemet. It's on the Ism album, which is out now. It's available on all digital platforms, and on CDs.
And we are basically touring, selling the CDs to people, giving away the CDs. We bootleg the album ourselves just to give, you know, people, especially in Jamaica, the CD, so they could get the message.
That's what it's about.
Yes, sir.
It's more about the message than anything else. You've heard it from Mr. Vegas himself.
Yes, sir.
Is there a final message you'd like to give to the viewers?
We just keep doing music, man. Go out and support the album. If it's something that you enjoy, man, you know, that's a plus.
Well, sir, thank you very much for a very insightful interview, giving us a load of information and something to think about. And it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you, sir.
That's what it is.
Thank you very much.
I was blind, but now I think.
Indeed. It's there. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Isms, it's out now. Support it. It's a chance to be educated as well. So for myself, Anthony Jordan, and the one and only Mr. Vegas, signing out. Right.
Yo, this is Mr. Vegas, and you can win a copy or a download of my album, Ism. All you got to do is send your email, or if you want a physical CD, you can send your address and we send it to you. The question for today is, who is Serapis Christos? SERAPIS CHRISTUSRTOS. I don't see blessing, Ben TV get the blessing. Oh, yes.